Chapter 18 No Place for Us. Jathrabai. Jathrabai was sitting at the door with his daughter Jimli. They were waiting for Sidhya. It was almost night, but Sidhya had not come home. 2 years back, Jathra's family came to Mumbai from Sinduri village. Here, they only knew the family of a distant relative. With their help, Jathrabai began to repair torn fishing nets, but the money he got was not enough. They had to pay for the medicines, food, school fees, and rent for the house. Here, they even had to buy water. Young Sidhya also had to work in the nearby fish factory to earn some money. From 4 o'clock till 7 o'clock in the morning, he cleaned and sorted the big and small fish. Then he would come home, take a nap, and go to the school in the afternoon. In the evening, he would wander around the vegetable market. He would help some Mem Sahib to carry her bags or go to the railway station to pick up empty bottles and newspapers to sell to the Kabadiwala junk seller. Somehow they were managing their life in the city. It was night, but Sidhya did not come home. Jimli was watching a dance on TV through the neighbor's window. But Jathria did not like watching TV. Here everything was so different. The day would pass running around for work, but the evening brought back old memories. Think and tell. Jathria felt alone, even in a crowd of people. Have you ever felt like this? Imagine how it feels to leave one's own place and go far away to live in a new place. Why do you think families like that of Jathrias are coming to big cities? Have you seen any children in your school or neighborhood who also go to work? What kind of work do they do? Why do they have to work? Remembering old days, Jathria was born in Kedi village in the middle of thick green jungles and hills. His people had been living here for many years, even before his grandmother was born. There was peace in Jathria's village, but not silence. There were so many soothing sounds: the gurgle of the flowing river, the murmur of trees, and the chirping of birds. People did farming. They would go to the nearby forest, chatting and singing together to collect wild fruits, roots, and dried wood. While working with elders, children also learned many things: to dance together, to play flute and dole, to make pots of clay and bamboo, to recognize birds and imitate their sounds, etc. People collected things from the forest for their use. Some of those they would sell in the town across the river. With that money, they would buy salt, oil, rice, and some clothes. It was a village, but people here lived together like a big family. Jathria's sister was married in the same village. People helped each other in good and bad times. The elders would arrange weddings and settle quarrels. Jathria was now a strong young man. He worked hard in the fields and caught fish from the big river. He and his friends would go to the forest to collect fruits, roots, and plants for medicines, and fish from the river to sell these in the town. During festival time, Jathria would dance and play the drum with boys and girls of his age. Tell. In Kedi village, what all did children learn? What do you learn from your elders? Jathria learned so many things in Kedi. How many of those would be useful for him in Mumbai? Do you hear the sounds of birds every day? Which ones? Can you imitate the sound of any bird? Show how. What are some of the sounds that you hear every day but the people of Kedi may not be hearing? Have you experienced silence? When and where? Across the river. One day, the people of Kedi heard that a big dam was to be built on the river. For this, a big wall would be built to stop the flow of the river. Kedi and many nearby villages in that area would be drowned under water. The people would have to leave their villages and their lands on which their forefathers had lived for centuries. After a few days, government officials along with the police started visiting these villages. Small children of the village saw the police for the first time. Some children would run after them and some would get scared and start crying. The officials measured the width and length of the river, the fields, the forest, and houses. They called meetings with the elders of the village. They said villages on the banks of the river would have to be removed. People having land at Kedi will be given land far away on the other side of the river. They will have everything there, a school, electricity, hospitals, buses, trains, etc. They will have all that they could not even dream of here in Kedi. Kshatriya's parents and most elders were not happy about leaving their village. Listening to all this, Kshatriya would get a little scared but also feel excited. He would think that after getting married, he would take his bride to the new house in the new village. A house where he could just press a button for the light and turn on the tap for water. He could go by bus to see the city. When he would have children, he would send them to school. They will not be like him who had never been to school. Discuss and tell. Many people in Kshatriya's village did not agree to move away from their land and forest. Why? They had to leave even though they didn't want to. Why? In Kedi, how many people were there in Kshatriya's family? When he thought about his family, who all came to his mind? Who all came to your mind when you think about your family? Have you heard of people who don't want to be moved from their old place? Talk about them. Do you know some people who have never been to school? Do you also know of the place where there is no school? Imagine. Think of the kinds of difficulties people have to face where a dam is being built. Draw a picture of Kedi village and a picture of Kshatriya's dream village. Discuss the differences between them. Also look at the pictures your friends have drawn. A new place. It was a summer afternoon. Kshatriya was feeling faint in the hot sun and wind. His feet were burning on the coal tar of the Pukka road. There wasn't a single tree to offer some shade, just a few houses and shops. Kshatriya was on his way home after buying medicines. He had an old tire on his back. These days he had to light his stove with just these rubber pieces of old tires. This caught fire fast and also saved some firewood. But the smoke and smell of burning tires were terrible. In this new Sinduri village, they had to pay money for everything: medicines, food, vegetables, firewood, and fodder for the animals. They could just not afford to buy kerosene. But from where to get the money for all this? Thinking of all this, Kshatriya reached home. The roof made of a tin sheet made the house hot like an oven. Kshatriya's wife had high fever. His daughter Jimli was rocking her little brother Sidhya to sleep in her lap. After all, there was no other old person with them. Kshatriya's parents had been so sad about leaving Kedi that they had died before he moved here. In Sinduri, there were only 10 families he could call his own, those from his old village. The whole village had got scattered and people had gone wherever they had been given land. This was not like the new village Kshatriya had dreamed about. There was electricity, but only for some time in a day, and then the electricity bill had also to be paid. There were taps, but no water. In this village, Kshatriya got just one room in a tin shed. It had no place to keep the animals. He also got a small piece of land, but that was not good for farming. It was full of rocks and stones. Still, Kshatriya and his family worked very hard, but they could not grow much on the field and could not make enough money even to buy seeds and fertilizers. In Kedi, people did not fall sick often. If someone fell ill, there were many people who knew how to treat them with medicines made from plants. People felt better after taking these medicines. Here in Sinduri, there was a hospital, but it was difficult to find doctors and there were no medicines. There was a school here, but the teacher did not care much about the children from Kedi village. These children found it difficult to study in a new language. The people of Sinduri did not welcome the newcomers from Kedi. They found their language and the way of living strange. They made fun of the Kedi people by calling them unwanted guests. Not much of what he had dreamed had come true. Some years later, Kshatriya stayed for a few years in Sinduri. The children were also getting older, but Kshatriya's heart was not here in Sinduri. He still missed his old Kedi. But there was no Kedi now. There was a big dam and a big lake of collected water in and around Kedi. Kshatriya thought, if we are to be called unwanted guests, then at least let us go to some places where our dreams can come true. Jatra sold his land and his animals and came to Mumbai. Here he started a new life with his family. His only dream was to send his children to school, to give them a better future, a better life. Here too things were not easy, but he hoped that things would get better. Jatria started saving money to repair his one-room shack. His relatives would tell him, don't waste money on this. Who knows, we may have to move from here too. In Mumbai, there is no place to stay for outsiders like us. Jatria was scared and worried. He thought, we left Kedi for Sinduri. We then left Sinduri for Mumbai. If we have to move from here too, then where can we go? In this big city, is there not even a small place for my family to stay? Think, what did Jatrabai thought while moving to Mumbai? Did he find Mumbai as he had imagined? What kind of school do you think Jatriya's children would be going to in Mumbai? Find out and write. Do you know of any family that has come to your town after having moved out of their place? Talk to them and find out. From where have they come? Why did they have to come here? What kind of people did they live in there? How do they find this new place compared to the old one? Is their language and way of living any different from that of the people here? In what ways? Learn some words from their language and write them in your notebook. Do they know how to make some things that you cannot make? What? Have you ever read or heard of a city slum being removed? How did you feel about this? People also shift from one place to another when they get transferred in their jobs. How do they feel then? Debate. Some people say that the city people do not create garbage. Cities are dirty because of slums. How do you feel about this? Discuss and debate between yourself. What we have learned. Like Jatriya's family, thousands of families come to stay in big cities for many different reasons. Do you think their life may be better in a big city from what it was before? Imagine how they feel in a big city.